Hey everybody, I'm Bede, aka the Terrible Australian of Super Podcast, and welcome to the sixth edition of my DVD and Blu-ray updates. I'm sorry that I haven't been updating these as quickly as I possibly can. I only just realized just today it's actually been nearly 2 weeks since my last video update, so I apologize for that. But I'll make it up for you guys for this one because I have a ton of Blu-rays right here that I bought over the last couple of weeks that I want to share with all of you. So I'll go through all of them and 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 see what you guys think. Okay, first up, of course, for this video, I'm going to start off with this one, which is Tim Winton's The Turning. Now, this is a very ambitious Australian film that's an adaptation of Tim Winton's anthology novel of the same name. And what makes this film interesting is that it's a 3 hour film in which all 17 chapters, all 17 short stories from the novel, are actually brought to life by 17 different directors, and each film and all the directors got to do each of the stories in their own distinct style or way of storytelling. Sorry, like you got some in here that are like sort of done in a straightforward manner, but also others that are sort of done with no dialogue at all. Some with just entirely narration. Some that are a bit more abstract, and there's even one story in here that's actually done entirely in interpretive dance. Yes, you heard that correctly. It's definitely. I actually wrote an entire review on this Blu-ray review of this film over at supermarcy.com, so you can read more thoughts about my feelings about this film. I think to me, I thought it was an extraordinary film. It won't be for everyone, and I can understand people hating it or hating some parts of it, but to me, it's just a truly amazing film, and it was actually. If you go to supermarcy.com, you'll also see my top 10 list of 2013. A bit late, I know, a few months being in since it was supposed to be due out, but this was my pick as the number one film of 2013. Like, it's just a fantastic film that really resonated with me on a lot of levels, both on a storytelling and as well as a technical level. Great film, and I actually was sent this Blu-ray to review from my friend Marcy for supermarcy.com, so thank you, Marcy, for sending this for me to review, so I'm really appreciative of that. I'd say it's highly recommended. Definitely check it out if you haven't seen it. At the moment, it's only available to buy here in Australia, so I'm not sure when it's going to be released internationally, but luckily well, it's Region B. I thought it was a Region 3 Blu-ray, but it's Region B, so I definitely but either way, I still recommend this film. It's a great film, worth checking out. Next up, of course, is For the Dark World, which of course is the sequel to 4. I really enjoyed this film. It's a lot of fun. It's not one of my favorite of the Marvel cinematic films. I would put this on the same level as the first film. They're both really enjoyable, but they do have a lot of flaws as well. But I still have a lot of fun with them, and they're enjoyable. It's a really fun sequel. In some ways, it's better than the first in terms of like it expands the scope, makes it feel like a much bigger film. But I think I like them both this and the first one equally. But I think I prefer the first one overall, just a little bit more. But this one's still a fun sequel. It's great to see the entire cast back, and as well as some new faces as well. It's just a lot of fun. Like, it's not as groundbreaking or amazing as something like the Avengers or Iron Man 3, but it's still a pretty solid and fun film. So if you love the other Marvel cinematic films, definitely check this one out. It's a lot of fun. Next up, of course, is Gravity. This made my top 10 films of 2013 list. It was number 4, and it's a truly amazing film, not just both on a technical level, but also it's a quite emotional, engaging, thrilling, and it's with a great performance by Sandra Bullock. Amazing, well deserved of all the 7 Oscars that it won recently for all the categories it was nominated in. It'll be interesting to watch this film on Blu-ray on my TV. But I mean, will it have the same effect on me as it did in the couple of times that I saw it in the cinema and in 3D? It'll be interesting to watch, but I think it's this. Even though I don't have 3D 3D aspect on my TV or anything like that, but I still think it will still be a really engaging film nonetheless. And I still think overall it is a great, terrific film that is just fantastic on a lot of levels. So that's Gravity. Also, another film that made my top 10 list of 2013 is Prisoners, which is like it sort of has the elements of other films we've seen before, a bit of Gone Baby Gone, bit of Mystic River, with sort of the stylistic tone and feel of Zodiac. But for what this is still a great film in its own right. Just fantastic from beginning to end, really riveting stuff, quite intense as well, and features just fantastic performances from the entire cast, particularly Hugh Jackman and uh, Jake Gyllenhaal. And it's a great follow-up for the director of this film, because he previously made another film that I actually did talk about in my video reviews a few weeks back, called Incendies. This is this was one of his follow-up films, and he definitely as a director, I can't pronounce his name at the moment, so don't ask me to figure it out at the top of my head. But he's definitely a director who I'm keeping a close eye on. So far, of the two films I've seen of his, I love both. They both made my respective top 10 films of their respective years. So, Prisoners, if you haven't seen it, it's a great film, riveting stuff, and just brilliant. Also, speaking of intense films, I also have Captain Phillips. Definitely one of the most intense films of last year. It just, I was on edge throughout the entire time. And it's a great return to form for Paul Greengrass after sort of Green Zone, which is a film I did like, but I know a lot of people didn't. But it's him going back to sort of the back to what he did with United '93, which was one of my favorite, the best films of the last decade, and an amazing performance by Tom Hanks, which still shocks me that he didn't get an Oscar nomination for this, particularly for the last 5 minutes, which I won't spoil. But also Backard Aldi, who did get nominated for an Oscar, he's fantastic in the film as well. Just great stuff. It didn't make my top 10, but it was one of my honorable mentions from last year. So if you haven't seen this one, definitely check it out. That's Captain Phillips. Also is Chicago, which is, of course, the that came out, I believe, yeah, about 12 years ago. Well, it says 10th anniversary edition on here, which is weird because, you know, this film came out in 2002 and it's 2004, but whatever. I love this film. I really enjoyed it the first time I watched it when it came out, but over the years I've grown to appreciate this film a lot more. That's probably because 2 years ago I actually starred in my hometown production of Chicago, playing the role of Billy Flynn, which Richard Gere played in the film. So it made me appreciate the film a lot more. It's just a really, really great musical, great songs. All the cast do an amazing job. And it's just a lot of fun, and it's also quite engaging as well. And it's also an interesting satire on celebrity as well. And it's just a great film. Well, I don't think it's deserved to win Best Picture in 2002, but you know, I can't complain too much because in its own way it's still a great film. But that's Chicago. Oh, it's the Diamond Edition, I should say, which is, it doesn't have all the features. It's missing some of the features that appeared in the previous Blu-ray of the film, but it makes up for it by having a very long retrospective documentary on here, which I suppose will make up for the lack of other features, and as well as an audio commentary and extended music scenes. And also they also went back and remastered both the video and the picture quality and audio of the film, so it looks even better than it did the first time round on Blu-ray. So I look forward to rewatching this. That's Chicago. Next up is Wolf Creek, which is, in my opinion, one of the best horror films made in the past decade. I can understand why people don't like it, but to me, it's just a fantastic horror film. And I did watch this recently when the sequel, Wolf Creek 2, came out, and the picture quality of this film was amazing. It just looked absolutely stunning in HD. It is again, like Chicago, it's missing some of the features that did appear on the two disc DVD, but it does have the audio commentary from Greg McLean and as well as the cast. So, Wolf Creek, fantastic, intense, and very scary horror film. Won't be for everyone, but I think it's one of the best this past decade. So that's Wolf Creek. Let's move some of these back here because it's almost toppling over. Next up is Escape Plan, which strangely, even though it didn't do as well in the US, but it was huge worldwide. But for some reason, it actually went straight to Blu-ray here in Australia, and that sort of caused a huge outrage from fans of both Stallone and Schwarzenegger. But I did get to see this film because the Arnold fans website actually were able to make a very one-off screening of the film in cinemas here in Melbourne, so I was able to get to see it on the big screen. It's a fun film, and like it's just cool. Like even though Stallone and Schwarzenegger already did appear together in the Expendables films, but this is where they get both equal screen time together, and and we get to see more of their team up. And it's a fun film. Yes, it's silly, it's over the top. Some performances aren't great, and the dialogues are a bit weak, but it sets out and achieves what it wants to be, which is just to be a fun, silly action movie. And Stallone and Schwarzenegger still have it. And particularly what impressed me the most was Arnie in this film. He actually gives a really great performance, and I'm not joking when I say that. It's really good. And so if you're a fan of these two guys, definitely check it out. It's worth checking out or even buying. So the next couple of Blu-rays, JB Hi-Fi recently did a sale where you buy two Blu-rays and you can get a third one for free. So I took advantage of that with the next 6 Blu-rays that I bought. For the first batch I did buy, I got Frankenweenie, which is Tim Burton's previous most recent film, and it's a great film, very underrated. And I know a lot of people sort of mixed on Tim Burton at the moment, but for me personally, like, I think some of his recent stuff has been pretty good, but that's just my opinion. Like, yeah, Alice was a bit of a mixed bag, and Dark Shadows was a bit average, but all his other stuff like Sweeney Todd, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Corpse Bride, and especially this one have been really good. And this one's a great film, and it actually would make a great double feature with Paranorman. So definitely buy Paranorman and also this one and do a back-to-back double feature. Great film, beautifully animated in stop motion, weird, creepy, funny. It's just a great film and very underrated, and it should have done a lot more, and in my opinion could have won the Oscar as well. So that's Frankenweenie. And speaking of animated films, I've got The Adventures of Tintin, which is Steven Spielberg's first film in the sort of the motion capture animation, and I really enjoyed this film. I grew up on Tintin. I read sort of the comics and saw the TV show, the animated TV show, sorry, and this was a lot of fun. And I'm also a huge Steven Spielberg fan. He's my all-time favorite director, and this is another film I'm adding to my Spielberg collection of my DVD and Blu-rays. I can't wait to revisit this again. It was a lot of fun, and both Jamie Bell and Andy Serkis both do a good job in the roles of Tintin and Captain Haddock. So yeah, I look forward to rewatching that again. And the third one for that batch was Seven Psychopaths. This is the most recent film from Martin McDonagh, who also made the fantastic In Bruges. This is a great follow-up. I don't think this is quite as good as In Bruges, but it's still a great, funny, meta sort of crime comedy. The cast are all fantastic, particularly Christopher Walken, who to me was fantastic in the film. Brilliant script, well directed. If you haven't seen Seven Psychopaths, it's definitely worth checking out. It's a great film. And the next batch I did get with the buy two get one free deal is I bought the first, second, and third films in the Pirates of the Caribbean series. Now, I really enjoyed this series. The first film is awesome. I love the first film, and Johnny Depp was just fantastic as Captain Jack Sparrow. And I really like the sequel, the second and third film. I know a lot of people are mixed on them both, but I think they're really good. Particularly the second film, which I think is just as good and in some ways even better than the first one. The third film, which I will admit is very convoluted and some aspects don't make sense, but I still really enjoyed it, and I also really dug the fact just how batshit insane the third one is. I can understand why a lot of people hate it, but I just enjoyed the sort of the madness of it all. So that's the Pirate of the Cat. If you notice, I didn't get the fourth one, mainly because, well, I could only get these three and not a fourth one. The fourth one is okay, but it's definitely for me the weakest one of the series. So maybe I'll get it at some point, but at the moment I'm happy with just these three. And finally, for the video, this is a change of pace. The next Blu-ray is actually a TV one, and I've got the third season of Game of Thrones, which in my opinion is my favorite show on television at the moment. The third season was fantastic. Episode 9, The Reigns of Castamere, is just blew me away, and I'm still thinking about that episode since I first saw it. And I'm really interested to see where the fourth season's going to go. And this is a great season. If you're a huge Game of Thrones fan, definitely buy this. It's awesome. One of the best shows on TV. It's just brilliant from top to bottom. And what can I say? It's Game of Thrones. It's just fantastic. So go out and buy it if you haven't already. So yeah. Alrighty. That's the end for this video. I had a lot to talk about for this one, and if the video goes on a bit longer than expected, I apologize for that, but I had a lot to talk about. So I hope you all enjoyed it. Also, I'll try to do another one sometime, in another video update in the next, another DVD and Blu-ray update within the next week, because I have a few more stuff to talk about in terms of DVDs and Blu-rays. And also I'm going to put, in the last video I actually had it on a piece of paper, showed you where you can find my writings on the internet. You can find my writings and reviews at supermarcy.com, where I do all my reviewing and stuff there. And also you can find me at twitter.com/BedeJamine. And also you can fan my Facebook page at facebook.com/TerribleAussie. But I'll have all the links in the comments section, so that way you'll be able to find them. But I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all later. See you everyone. Bye.